Hello, let's look at the 50 Bolivianos banknote. This note came out in 2018 and is the third denomination from a collection of 10, 20, 50, 100, and 200 Bolivianos. Just as its predecessor, the main color theme of this banknote is purple. The banknote contains 3 distinct personalities, 2 important locations, 1 animal, and 1 plant. First, let's look at the 3 personalities at the front of the note. The leftmost person is named José Manuel Baca, also known as Cañoto. He was born in 1790 in Santa Cruz, Bolivia. He is a regional artist and a militiaman. He participated in the first independence uprisings of Santa Cruz in 1810. He led a unit known as Cazadores de Caballería, or in English, cavalry hunters. The first rebellion against the Spanish loyalists was ultimately unsuccessful after a loss at the Battle of Paris in 1816. The pro-independence troops dispersed and Baca escaped south to live in exile in Jujuy, an already independent city. Baca was able to assist in the defense of Jujuy during the Battle of León in 1821, when the Spanish loyalists attempted to subjugate the city. He later returned to Santa Cruz and participated in the final liberation of Santa Cruz in 1825. In the middle, we see Bruno Racua, born in 1879 in Ixmiamas, La Paz. He was a Tacana native and worked in the rubber farms of the territory of Acre in the deep Amazon jungle. This land was contested between Bolivia and Brazil. This dilemma eventually broke into a war between the two countries. Bruno was a member of a local militia unit known as Columna Porvenir. He is most known for his actions during the Battle of Bahia, a battle that took place in the city today known as Cobija. Bruno and a small group of archers snuck behind enemy lines to the banks of a river. Across the river lay the Brazilian weapons depot. Bruno and his crew shot a barrage of fire arrows which ignited the weapons depot. Bolivian forces heard the explosion and charged the Brazilian forces, ultimately ending in a victory in the battle. On the right, we have Pablo Zarate Wilca, born around 1850 in the department of La Paz. Wilca began his childhood in farm labor. He grew up to become a renowned leader of the Aymara and Quechua people as a cacique. He assisted General José Manuel Pando, the soon-to-be president of Bolivia, in the revolution against the Bolivian federalist government. General Pando granted Wilca the rank of colonel, an unheard-of position for the indigenous peoples, and promised him redistribution of the stolen indigenous lands. General Pando told Wilca it would be him to serve as second-in-command to represent the native populations in government. Pando eventually won the conflict but failed to keep his promises. Wilca, feeling betrayed by the actions of the now President Pando, decided to lead a rebellion against Pando's government, but was ultimately unsuccessful. Moving on to the middle of the note, we see an archaeological monument. This place is known as Fortaleza de Incayacta, or in English, Fort Incayacta. Inca meaning Inca and Yacta meaning city. This site is known to house defensive structures, administrative buildings, ceremonial sites, storage units, living spaces, and the largest cayanca. A cayanca is a continuous rectangular roofed Inca structure. Side note, Samaipata in the 20 Bolivianos banknote also contained a cayanca, but it did not appear to be complete when the site was discovered. Moving to the back of the note, the first image we see is of Nevado Sajama. This snow-capped extinct volcano is the highest point in Bolivia and is part of Sajama National Park, which contains additional volcanoes, thermal springs, and even mysterious ancient lines etched onto the ground by ancestors of the Aymara people. These lines are appropriately named Sajama lines and can even be seen from space. Next, we see the quinoa real. The famous quinoa plant is a traditional plant of the region and has provided nutrition for the local people for generations. It has taken recent notoriety as being the most nutritious grain, rich in protein and vitamin B. Lastly, we see the Andean flamingo. This flamingo lives in the high Andean plateau. Just as all its cousins, this flamingo obtains its coloration from its food. The high Andean plateau has colorful lakes filled with microorganisms that provide nutrients for these flamingos in such a remote location. Now, let's look at the security features, starting with the front. A light behind the bill will clearly reveal a distinguishable watermark of José Manuel Vaca, a charango, and the number 50. The light also completes the number 50 on the bottom left by using a silhouette on the back of the note. Moving the light to the front reveals a blue-green reflective strip with repeating images of José Manuel Vaca and the denomination. The note has several high-precision prints with most that are tactile, such as the 3 personalities, the number 50, and 1 horizontal bar, and 3 sets of 4 inclined lines on the sides of the note that line up when placed end to end. The horizontal bars and the diagonal lines are different for all the notes of the series, making them easily identifiable by touch. The words Banco Central de Bolivia, Estado Plurinacional de Bolivia, and 50 Bolivianos are also tactile. On the bottom right, we can see a square box with a pattern that reveals the number 50 when tilted. On the back, we have a reflective Andean flamingo. Placing the bill end to end reveals a complete number 50. A UV light on the front highlights the UV fibers, the security strip, the banknote series, the national coat of arms, and signatures of the bank members. A UV light on the back reveals the denomination and a quinoa plant. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the 50 Bolivianos banknote. I plan to continue this series of videos with the other denominations. Once I complete this series, I plan to make more videos on different banknotes. I welcome any ideas and thoughts on improving the quality of my videos, and please make me feel validated and socially accepted by giving me a like.